ako para manganak. Pero nakakaintindihan kami ng asawa ko. Yung asawa ko, supportive yan. Kahit nasa amin ni Keanu, supportive siya. Pero hindi pa naman ako titira dito. Marami na akong ginagawa. Kikwento ko sa inyo. Ito lang. So, what happened was, before you get on a flight, of course, you have to get a PCR test. A COVID test. About, what is it, like at least 3 days before your flight. So I was flying out May 18. On May 16, I got swabbed by one laboratory that I cannot find it in my heart to forgive. I'm sorry, I won't mention it. Because on May 17, I was leaving on the 18th, remember. On May 17, I was waiting for my results. And I had a Zoom meeting with our, what was it? Travel coordinator. You see, these big productions have a travel coordinator. They have lahat may coordinators for everything. So everything, Eugene, one of the actors in Joe Koi's movie, was also in that Zoom meeting. Our travel coordinator was in that Zoom meeting. My assistant Penny was in that Zoom meeting. Peachy was in that Zoom meeting because Peachy was coming to be my assistant. Dahil hindi pwede magsama ng marami because of COVID restrictions, especially in Canada. So anyway, she was telling us, you get your working packets, you have them already. So, and then when you land in LA, this person will meet you, and then you're just gonna walk from the airport to spend the night in this hotel that's connecting, and then the next morning, this is the map of the Vancouver airport. It was so detailed. It was so wonderful. She was a wonderful lady, and she was zooming in with us from Canada. So I was so happy, and I told Eugene, I am so excited to meet you in person and to work with you because you're really funny. It was the first time I met him, and he plays Joe Koi's cousin in the movie. Anyway, to make a long story short, natapos yung meeting. I was so happy. Nakapack na kami. We were ready to leave the next day. And I was going to announce to you the very next day and say something like, well, Hollywood, whatever, I'm finally going to meet you or something and surprise all of you, my Sharonians. And what happened was, wala pang 5 minutes after the Zoom meeting, my assistant called me to say, ma'am, di po kayo makakaalis bukas. I said, why? Positive po yung COVID test nyo. So, napanic ako. I said, what? Positive po. So, natural, nasabi dun nasabi ko agad sa manager ko. So, it was a big problem because everyone was ready. They couldn't afford any delays. And naturally, it was heart-wrenching and heartbreaking for me. I literally nanlambot ako na para ako natunaw. Ito yung masakit. After this test by that lab, which I still cannot forgive, I immediately scheduled 3 different labs to come and test me again. After that, the next day, another different lab. So, pang-apat na. Later on, for ABS, we had swabs. It was a total of 7 tests after that first supposedly positive test. All the 7 different labs tested me negative. So, hindi ba naman heartbreaking yon? That's why I was depressed. At hindi ko pa nakwento sa inyo yung bakit ako masaya, tas bakit bigla ako nalungkot. Walang may alam. So it was, parang feeling ko, it was false positive and 7 different reputable, trusted labs tested me negative. And I didn't, wala akong sakit eh. Wala akong sakit. That same lab na nag-test sa akin ng positive, tinest ng positive, yung masahista ko, na natakot din siya because she's not so young anymore. She's been with me since hindi ko pa asawa si Kiko, 94. Tapos pinatest ko siya ulit, negative. Kasi magkasama kami dun sa, parang nag-quarantine na lang kami just to be sure because my kids have morbid, what do you call it?
Comorbidities. Comorbidities.
Comorbidities, yes. So my 3 kids have asthma. And pag ikaw ay nagkaroon ng COVID at ikaw ay may asthma, ang asthma ay problema sa paghinga, di ba? It's something that can really, it's one of those diseases that can actually accelerate your, I don't know, it can be fatal, accelerate your being sick and all that. So that's why my kids got vaccinated with their dad. Well, Frankie, because she's 21, 20, turning 21. Now, it took me, ganito kasi ako pag medyo namumroblema, which my husband of 25 years knows very well already about me. Parang pag may namatay, I shut down. When my mother died, wala akong pakialam kahit anong sabihin ng tao, pero hindi ako nagpupunta araw-araw ng maaga sa burol niya. Because I asked my husband if I could stay in my condo, yung dati kong condo na pang alone time ko, sa Twin Towers pa, na sabi ko, I wanna mourn my mom my way. And in the condo, I was with my yaya, and I would talk to my mom and cry and pray and, you know, mourn her in my own way. Ayoko yung parang, it wasn't a time for me. Alam ko medyo, it was a bit ill-mannered and unethical. And it was, I'm sure my mom was turning in her, siguro gusto niya ako sakalin kasi sabi niya siguro, hoy, bastos ka, may mga bisitang dumandalaw sa akin dun sa burol, hindi mo sinasalubong, iniiwan mo sa mga kapatid ko, mga tita mo. But that was how I felt. And my mom, I'm sure, knew that. So Kiko let me mourn the way I wanted to mourn. And then, I would go to the burol late na. Yung, gusto ko kasi masolo mami ko. So ayoko siya nakikita doon, nakahiga. So hindi ko man napasalamatan lahat ng nagbigay ng respeto kay mami. Hiyang-hiya man ako. It wasn't a time for me na ayokong umacting, na ayokong, mas importante sa, lagi na lang kasing inuuna ko yung ibang tao kahit nung namatay si daddy at buntis ako kay Frankie. Parang you had to do your duties as a daughter na namatayan ng pinakamamahal na magulang. When it came to my mom, total orphan na ako. So I didn't want to, feeling ko no, I don't want na. Parang I just want to mourn the way I want to mourn. I don't care what they want to say. And so that's how I am. So when I am depressed over something, or nawalan ako ng kaibigan, or nawalan ako ng napakalaking oportunidad na hindi na maibabalik sa akin. Kahit gusto nila Jokoy at ng director ko na nandun pa rin ako, wala silang choice kundi tuloy yung movie. So my role as Tita Teresa went to Tia Carrere. She played the sister of the ate of Lilo in Lilo and Stitch, yung boses niya. And she was also in Wayne's World, for all of you Gen Xers like us, no? She's half Filipino, so she got my role. She already had a role in the movie, so when I couldn't make it, she got the other lead role. And I'm glad she did. But it broke my heart. It really did. Because it was such an honor to be in the very first all-Filipino production in Hollywood, backed by a producer as big as Steven Spielberg. And up to now, when I think about, ayan, medyo pinipigil ko yung luha ko. Hindi lang para sa akin, I felt dala-dala naming lahat yung bandila ng Pilipinas. Na parang, you know, in the middle of all this Asian hate going on in America and some parts of the world, we were so proud that there was Mr. Spielberg was backing this movie of Filipinos. And it breaks my heart because I love Jokoy. And later I'll post, kasi sa Zoom meeting namin, sabi niya, wait, let me take a picture. Sabi ko, me too. Yung screen lang, kinukunan namin magkasama kami. And we were so excited. So, yun ang kinabreak ng puso ko. At pinabayaan ako ni Kiko na magluksa over it. And since they're in Canada, sabi ko talaga, I need to go to America and just leave the country kasi and also make myself productive here. So I licked my wounds here, lahat ng mga, parang feeling ko, it was such a nice surprise